All right, everybody, welcome back to the Travi Wavi. Happy New Year's Day. This is Thursday, coming to you live from the 325 on a Thursday morning, deep in the heart of downtown Abilene, Texas, historic downtown Abilene, Texas, storybook capital of America. And we're bringing you the Travi Wavi and the Breakdown with Ben
Heck yeah.
on the first day of the year.
All right.
Welcome, Ben.
Glad to be here.
We did a show
New Year's
together last year called The Wintry Mix, and we just kind of filled space and time, and we called Big Frank,
Oh, that's right.
and we talked about podcasting a little bit.
Very cool.
And apparently we have some new technology we're going to introduce today when we call Big Frank.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's only taken a couple months, but
Yeah.
we got it figured out maybe.
Yeah.
So how was your Christmas?
Man, it was good. You know, I think I like the springtime the best. You know? And then weather-wise, it's kind of cool here because it's kind of spring or summer all year long. But Christmas was good. So much, in my world, so much football. And like to the point where it's like it's at the fever pitch crescendo to where when it's over, you're glad it's over.
Yeah.
It's like nice to have a break.
You ready for that?
Yeah, I'm getting ready for that, and I know my loved ones are really
also
getting ready for that. They're just tired of hearing about it.
Did you put a bet down on Tech today?
I may have.
Okay,
It's
good.
been a pretty rough go of it for me for the past week. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. But yeah, so Tech kicks off right now.
Right now.
And
Are they playing at home?
well, it's like these playoff games. I can't remember where it is. It may be in Florida or yeah. So they're okay.
Florida.
Yeah. So they're playing all these things all over the country. Which, not to go down a rabbit hole there, but unfortunately is the only people that can attend these games are rich people because they
Cost of
had
tickets are
you got to fly there.
Yeah.
You got to take off work. You got to pull your kids out of school. Well, in this case, kids are out of school, but the tickets are astronomical, and the early rounds are home field advantage games. So like the Aggies got their ass kicked by Miami the other week, which was sad for all of us. But that was at Kyle Field. So all the people who are season ticket holders, students that get to go for basically free, things like that. And then you have that crazy home field. Well, these bowl games, it's like a tourist thing. It makes for good TV, but it's just unfortunate that these really important games, I think they should be at a home field of whoever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But anyways, not to go too far into all that. It's on my mind though, because my almost mater Red Raiders are playing the Oregon Ducks, and God knows what's going to happen. But the Red Raiders have the most expensive roster in college football.
No kidding.
I covered this on one of my shows in September. This billionaire oil fella that used to play for the offensive line for Texas Tech has decided to single-handedly, I'm going to go pick the best players in the country.
Write checks.
And I'm going to write checks, and we're going to see what happens. And our defense, I say our like I'm on the team, but I went there for a while. But Tech's defense is called the Stash Crew. They all have mustaches. Pretty fun.
Pretty great.
But anyways, we're going to see if money talks or if big programs
Well, I mean, it
talk.
seems like in the world that we're living in, money, that's all that's talking is money. I mean, we could look at politics or corporate. I mean, if you don't have any money, your voice isn't being heard, it sounds like.
That's very true, man. Now more than ever, it seems, or in a different kind of way.
Yeah, so we talk, I'm just going to go ahead and stab the stake of artificial intelligence and Stargate.
Yeah,
why
we
not?
should talk about this because, and I'm going to let you finish, but, I've kind of been waving this flag of reporting and questioning and covering. I think I've been covering. I put my opinion in here, obviously.
Yep.
Which I believe is a growing opinion. Maybe a little too late, but you go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I mean, there's so many things we could talk about. Like, I keep seeing articles every day. Like, my home state of South Dakota is thinking about giving some tax incentives to whoever the next data center gets built out there. We did it with Stargate, like 85% tax abatement. The reason I'm bringing this up is because now it's been over a year that we've talked about the Stargate and the AI thing
right.
on our channels, respectively, and had these conversations with people in our community. And, the same kind of squeaky wheel comments are made, like, well, what about how much water it's going to use? And what about how much electricity it's going to use?
And that's the tip of the iceberg.
That's a tip of the iceberg. We drove by last weekend. We went out to Lubbock, and I usually don't go that far down on 20 when I'm, because I don't go out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's insane. It's like, it's scary how big it is. It's scary how fast they've been building it, and it's only 3 miles from my house.
Yeah, and that's just the first one.
I've got raccoons in the yard because they're disrupting the amount of wildlife.
So let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah.
So somebody that I'm talking to a week or so ago, we've been on a break with our podcasts and everything. So there's tons of things we could talk about. But I keep, I go and I watch sports at places where there are TVs and drinks. Mm-hmm. And I've been just meeting time and time again. I meet these data center workers, these data center wives, all these people. And, I'm very much I accept a lot of things more now that I'm older than I used to. Because I used to be very ideological and, I've grown up on movies and books and all these things. And the older I get, the more that's cute, But so I accept my predicament and I try to make the best of it. But I'm talking to a gentleman who this is more than hearsay, because this gentleman is one of the people that is selling some land out in Stanford for this next data center.
Yep.
And kind of hearsay, because this is just what he knows as far as the land stuff goes. But he basically said that the one in Stanford will be the size of the city of Abilene's footprint.
Good night.
And the question and this is the funniest part of all this, and I'll try not to ramble too much here and I'll get back, but the interesting thing about all this is I hear the same thing is, well, this is what we're doing.
It's what we're doing.
And I'm feeding my family. I know this is kind of might be bad. I'm a history guy. You're a history guy. Anytime in history that you hear this kind of thing where it's just full blinders on, pedal to the metal, who cares? It doesn't generally end up very well. So my hope is that this is an actual bubble, like the .com bubble, and it bursts, and all this goes, like the world kind of goes back to normal.
Yeah.
Because that certainly isn't the plan.
No.
And the other person I'm talking to a couple weeks ago is a wildlife conservationist type person. And that is the one thing that is not that got my mind on this when you say the raccoons in the yard. The one thing that is not being taken into consideration is the displacement and potentially extinction level issues for our wildlife, which everybody says they care about, but nobody really does. That just lives in a concrete jungle. Like, yeah, they care about the animals. Well, they don't see what it actually does when you're in the woods or you live near, the forest and even our deserts and all these things, and just our construction as humans alone has been enough to be horrific to the wildlife.
Yep.
And now this, and you said this a while back about tiling it's like they're tiling
tile the land
earth
with data
with all
centers.
this. And so I
Sam
feel
Altman.
like this has got to have an end, or but and here goes again. I'll let you go somewhere else with all this, but to not be super interested and concerned about all this is to me, that's head in the sand type situation like I've never seen before.
So I'm trying to kind of like parcel out some of this and think about historically what what we might have, experienced similarly to this. And the closest I can come to is probably like the railway. I mean, Abilene's here because of the rails, right? Mm-hmm. Late 1800s, westward expansion, building rails across the country, which, we wiped out the buffalo population. We wiped out Native American population.
A lot of people. Yeah.
We had huge man camps, Chinese immigrants, whatever. I mean, it was the Wild West. It was crazy. I'm sure a lot of people died. I wasn't alive for it.
Right.
But here we are, 100-some years later, and I'm imagining that when they expanded the railways, there wasn't a lot of regulation. Now, I would love for someone to, tell me if I'm where I'm at on
the
this,
Chinese were essentially slaves.
yeah, so it was just there wasn't like someone saying yes, you can build your rail there, or no, you can't, or we have to do an ecological study or waterway study, whatever. But the same thing's happening with the data center. There's no regulation.
No.
So I watched an article the other day. I want to say it was Forbes, could have been Business Insider. Ask a question: how many data centers are there in North America? Oh, there's not an answer for that. Why? Well, because it's not regulated. There's not a department or a governmental oversight to like tell you. So they were like, well, I wonder how we could figure this out. If you are building a data center, you need extra power, and a lot of people have those really big gas generators. Apparently, if you install a gas generator, you are regulated by the EPA, and you have to file an air quality permit.
Right.
Okay? So they basically went and backtracked. Who's filed air quality permits for generators? What company was that? It's probably like an LLC or something, and it's a subsidiary of Google, Oracle, SoftBank, whatever. So at the beginning of 2024, there's 310 data centers in the U.S. By the end of that year, there's 1,200, and that's year-old data.
Wow. And
all we've been doing this whole last year is watching that project grow and build, and more belly dump trucks through town. Is our tax abatement going to cover the repair to the roads?
No.
What about all the injuries that have happened and all the dumped loads that have happened in town? Who's responsible for that?
Yeah, and that's just it. This is when you mentioned the Wild West and the railroads. This is obviously on a scale of epic proportions comparatively. And those people were just moving goods, right? They're moving cows where it started, and goods. And the other thing is like what the question that I've been asking for the last year or so is, what is the, what is it creating, right? Because
what's the value?
I understand, I come from the land of the oil patch, and that's how my family's got along for all these years. Is like, we understand what we're doing there, and that it's not all good for the environment, for all these other things, but it's also producing energy, right? And yes, this isn't an argument about whether that's good, bad, or indifferent. It produces a thing that we all use, right?
Yep.
At the detriment of, several different things. You get into fracking, and it's awful, terrible.
CO2,
all the different things.
Yep.
And but it's creating a thing that we need to move, and the thing that we need to heat and cool things, or what, and that's another whatever. But what is this creating other than it's creating a need for more energy? And
it's creating jobs to build out the infrastructure. It's creating a need for more energy.
It reminds me of what's that highway in Germany that they were building?
The Autobahn?
The Autobahn in the 30s.
Yeah.
Late 20s and 30s. It was all hands on deck. And it put everybody back to work. And it just created this freaking financial mecca towards what was it building to? And I'm not attempting to compare this to Nazi Germany at all, but it's just, this is all hands on deck. Everybody's got a job that wants one. If you want to do something out there, you can. All the unions are they're working. And, but what are they creating? What are we creating? And the other thing, this other guy, gosh, there's been so many that I'm talking to, is like, they just started the expansion of the expansion on our Abilene one. And it's almost like, and I'm like, that's where I'm like, is this just whole thing a scam? Because it's just like we just got to build and build and build.
Yep.
But I just don't know what it's creating because of Chat GPT and all this stuff. At this point, I'm not really that impressed.
No, it's
From
not
a
that helpful.
technological, like, okay, I ask it a question and it tells me basically what it saves me from going into to a newspaper or a book or my own internet search. I just don't get it. But this is interesting too. You mentioned finances. And this on the weekend review is why my generation is turning to financial nihilism. And just to talk.
Well, real wages are down since the 70s. Housing prices are crazy. I mean, we're living in such an incredibly strange time that it's hard to get a good, realistic, truthful perspective on everything, especially when we're not even sure half the time what we're being fed by our algorithms is real. You know, whether that's news or current events, it's like, how much of this is actually the truth? How much of this is spin? Why are we getting this information and not everything else that's out there, a story? What's the narrative? And I don't see it slowing down. Even if it is a bubble, I don't see it slowing down.
Yeah, I can see that.
But like, to go back to your earlier point of what is this about? What is the point of this? I don't think that's been answered very well.
Yeah.
By anybody that's building data centers.
And you know the most interesting thing to me, and you've had some incredible guests on your show over the past however long we've been doing this, but every time, and I'm glad I'm on the damn camera on the internet now. It's my turn to sit on the Travi Wavi chair.
Right.
Every time you ask somebody, any of your guests, because all these people are tied to our community in Abilene.
Characters in the storybook capital.
Characters
America.
from some of these people are city council people. Some of these people, many of them are involved in the universities, involved in museums, things of this nature. Every time they get prickly, that you ask them anything, and you are so good about just trying to be an interviewer and trying to see if you can pull something out. And it seems to be the same story. The same response.
Well, and it is the single largest construction project on the face of the planet. It's from where we sit right now, 5 miles north of us, and we all keep kind of recycling the same topics around it. Oh, how much water is it going to use? It's going to use a lot of electricity. There's 7,000, 8,000 transient workers you got to wait in line to get into that place for hours every morning. The traffic is insane. Like, when I say insane, I mean like this isn't good for human consumption. We shouldn't. Who was thinking about this when they went to the city and zoned this and the city annexed the space?
And okay, so I'll pause there. What's interesting about that is most of our state representatives, I mean the two big ones, I believe, is it Jody Arrington and Stan Lambert? They have decided that they're
stepping
good.
away.
They're
done.
stepping away from politics because just need to spend more time with my family. I'm like, go spin that smoke up somebody else's
I'll call
ass.
out Robert Hanna, who I really appreciate on a personal level, but our former city manager.
He got
retired.
out of here right after.
Right at the right time.
Right after. And that's what I encourage everybody to just take a look at is all these people that there had to have been people that made this deal in our community. And I'm going to go ahead and on paper, I think they're all gone. And this isn't conspiracy theory. It just is what it is. And these politicians, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, you are ladder climbing people. They are ladder climbing people. Greedy. that are
power hungry.
They're very driven. I'm not even trying to put them down. I'm just saying these people are driven. They're type A personalities. They are ladder climbers, and you're going to tell me at 40 years old-ish some of these people are like, oh, well, it's just not for me anymore. I don't believe that.
Yep.
I don't buy that, because all these people make more money when they're in politics than they do in the private sector.
Yep.
So I don't believe it. And I just think that we've been sold out in our community.
Well, I think so
and
too.
I think communities all over the country and the world have been sold out, and because here again, I don't know many people, I don't know anybody in this room, that there's not a whole lot of us right now, but the people that I know aren't benefiting from this thing.
No.
Unless you own a hotel or you have an Airbnb, which I know a lot of people do. But it's just very interesting where we're really at with all this.
Yeah, unless you're going to build another RV lot to house another 2,000, 5,000 units.
Funny you mentioned that. My neighbor is doing that very thing right behind Walmart. And it's funny. That's another one. I'm talking to his wife the other day, and she's like, yeah, you know that everybody's like, I got some news for you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm not going to like it. Pretty sure I'm not going to like it. And she's like, yeah, you know that lot behind Walmart? She's like, we own that. And he sold it to, they're going to make an RV park for all the workers. And she's like, yeah.
It's just so much, it's honestly,
But
it's
hey,
ridiculous
money.
the amount of, the lack of forethought that our leaders have put into all this. I mean, and I'm not picking on our city council members, because that's essentially a volunteer position.
Right.
And
They're not making these kind of
I'm not trying
deals.
to knock on but I'm talking about the people that serve on planning and zoning boards, our city manager, people that actually get shit done in our community.
Yeah.
And they've allowed this, and it's not going away. It's not like we could sit here and kvetch all day long and all of a sudden our problems are going to get solved.
Right.
But I do think we need to be asking better questions and holding somebody, some people, somewhere, somebody needs to be accountable.
And they've done a brilliant job of not putting anybody in that position.
No.
Because who is it? They're like, well, we don't really know yet. Because they don't want anybody getting the finger pointed at them. And you know what? It's brilliant. This is brilliant. And
this is
I think y'all have stumbled upon the American political way for the past
250 years, maybe?
since World War II, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, who you point the finger at, it's real easy. The other thing in politics is easy to do. If I don't like you or your positions, I can say you're the problem.
Yep.
You communist or you right-wing Nazi or whatever it is.
Or the last administration or the next administration or whoever.
But like this is quite interesting.
But we had people in our community that approved a Bitcoin mining facility that has turned into the largest data center construction project on the face of the earth. And I'm telling you guys, it's ugly.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. When you look at it, it's like...
It's not good. It looks apocalyptic, like... It looks like a movie that we've all seen.
It looks like they're building on Mars.
Speaking of Stranger Things, we were talking before the show, because the season finale, or the show's finale just came out, and daughter and I watched it last night. But it's the city of Hawkins, Indiana, and the Hawkins lab is where all the... dude, this is like eerily familiar, like... And this is where my sci-fi movie mind goes to, because, it's interesting, but what if there's like some portal that's, being opened, which I know that's ridiculous, but it's not ridiculous, but it's just kind of fun for me.
There's no accidents in naming something Stargate when there's been
and you remember the movie Stargate,
shows, movies and books about it. It's not a mistake.
Yeah,
it's not a mistake that it's right there either. And I think Catherine Baumgartner, who's been on the channel a couple times, we've talked about this off air, that, Abilene is a very conservative, very Christian-oriented community, has been forever. We have 3 universities. They're all Christian. There's more churches per capita in Abilene than anywhere else in the world. It's not a coincidence that Stargate's there.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to draw a
this
comparison here, but...
This is a great thought here that I'm glad you pulled up. But for Christians in general that are true followers of the Bible, of the Christian Bible, I went to a private Christian school. I'm not going to get into my personal beliefs right now, but I had to read the Bible and be taught the Bible so many different freaking ways for like 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe in that text, you got to be asking yourself what the hell's going on here. And if everybody biblically, if everybody's on the same page but they're not really sure, like, dude, just you can read Matthew, you can read Revelation, you can read all these books that it's like what you can't pick and choose what you want to take out of there. I'm like, well, this or that or what the other, it's either a metaphor or it's the truth. And I think that religiously, and this goes for any of them, you either look at it as a metaphor and a way to guide your spirit, your family, yourself, or you look at it as historical fact. And I lean more to the metaphor side. That's me. That's deep, and I don't mind getting into this on this podcast. I think it makes it interesting.
We're at 2 minutes till our scheduled call.
Oh,
Cool.
good.
Try to delay.
No,
or are
let's
we good?
We're good. But anyways, interesting how everybody that is a religious person right now isn't seeing like the spooky signs here. And I hope that those people will eventually wake up to all this. And
I'm hoping that in 2026, as artificial general intelligence continues to come online and influence us more and more and more every day in the way that we think and talk and share with one another, that we can at least try to hold on to each other and say, but I'm still human, you're still human.
Yeah.
And let's try to hang on to our humanity a little bit.
And hopefully, I think hobbies are really important right now, more than ever. Like, I saw you with some
I got my needlepoint.
And like doing things with our hands and like going into the woods or the desert or where, even if it's the freaking your local state park, just like trying to get a connection with nature, even if it's in your backyard, right? You and I have both kind of made nature happen on our properties in the middle of the city.
Yep.
And
got to build an oasis.
yeah, and so I think that hopefully some of that will get us back to where we need to be here.
So I'm going to segue us, since we are going to call Big Frank.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about doing this since we started. But today, for the first time ever, hopefully, we'll have him on a Zoom call so our audience can see Big Frank. And you and I won't be able to see him, but we'll be able to hear him. Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of exciting.
Heck yeah,
We're
I'm
coming
pumped
up on
about
our
that.
time, Sammy.
And goodness
Well,
gracious.
I'm not sure. Okay, I can start it now. So I'm starting the call.
And then I'm going to get my little, here we go. I'm really nervous about,
Okay, we're waiting for Big Frank.
will he be able to see us?
Yes.
Kind of cool. Audience, really appreciate you listening to us discuss the Stargate and the AI facility.
Yeah, thanks for hanging in there with us about that.
It's something that's
big
growing
deal.
in our backyard, kind of like you mentioned with Stranger Things. It's like there's something foreign and alien that's growing in my backyard. Do you guys see that too?
No, that's not what we're
Yeah.
here to see.
Yeah.
But,
The other way.
and it's cool because for now, art, music, sport, these things kind of, that's our thing that binds us, it seems, And there's just something neat about football fandom. Like Big Frank is probably one of the biggest football fans I've ever met in my life, that family.
Certainly a super fan.
And
I'm not sure where he might be. We've sent
he's lost.
chat.
He's lost in the ether.
But we do have a countdown timer. John Bubek's iPhone just connected.
Boom.
Nice.
Hello.
Big Frank.
Big Frank.
Oh, we got no picture of Big Frank.
Big Frank, we're trying something new today. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you fine.
That's great. Well, we got Sammy working on his end to make sure the Zoom works. But how about those Bears?
Yeah, it's a good time to be a Bears fan around here now. It's it's been exciting.
Mr. Big Frank, is your camera activated? Did we lose him?
No, I got you here. But I don't see, what should I do to hit for a camera?
Most likely it will have like a picture of a camera, I would think.
Like a little camera-looking thing.
No, I don't have anything on here. It just got up on the corner here. Yep. Don't have anything.
Well, we keep working out our
That's
kinks,
okay.
You know?
We're
That's
gonna
all
we're
right.
gonna keep going. That was a tough loss, but that didn't put you in any bad standings the other day, right?
No, it didn't. If we win Sunday at home against Detroit, we lock up the number 2 seed. And we're guaranteed of our first playoff game will be at home, whether it's the 2nd or 3rd seed. It's just a matter if we get the 2nd seed, then if we win again, we can host another home game.
Oh man, I think the Lions, Detroit is wounded and bleeding right now. I think the Bears going in there and take care of business.
Let's go, Bears.
Okay, I got my face in the corner here now. Do you see me?
We can't see you, but they can see you,
Yeah,
and that's what's important.
Yeah, the
okay.
internet can see you.
That's
All right,
great.
that's Bears.
Welcome, Big Frank.
Got some Bears gear on here today for you guys. so-
Yeah, there we go.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. So, what are your plans for the next game?
Well, we should get lucky. The last 2 games have been really cold, going back to the Cleveland game when it was like minus 10 degrees out there.
That was crazy looking.
Yeah. The Green Bay game wasn't too bad. They're calling for this weekend to be like 30 degrees and sunny with no sub-zero weather and no rain or snow. So those are doable. We just turn the heaters on, and we got some propane heaters we throw on, and we sit in the truck, and we have like the comforts of home. We can get it pretty warm in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Great.
Yeah, it doesn't affect us, but it's been so many years since we've actually had some fun the tail end of the season, going to the game and not leaving after like about 10 minutes because there's nothing else to do, and why stay in the cold to watch some bad football. But,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's kind of like my Raiders right now are in like full tank mode, but I think we got the number 1 pick by getting beat by the Giants.
Yeah. There was an article in the paper today about the top 5 candidates to get fired, and I think Pete Carroll is, from what they said, the number 1 to go. That experiment really hasn't worked out for them.
No, and it's a shame because I thought maybe one or 2 years might have been good, but they fired Chip Kelly. He's at Northwestern right now.
Yeah, they announced that the other day. So it's like, I don't know. It's you don't recruit big time around here at Northwestern, but who knows? He probably was looking to get in the job, and that was the only one that would hire him, basically. So
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, if you'd have told me 10 years ago that Chip Kelly would, end up being in this situation, I'd tell you you're crazy,
Yeah, not from being head coaches in college, the head coaches in the NFL, to now being an offensive coordinator for a Big Ten team that luckily if they could win 6 to 7 games a year, they're doing pretty good. Yeah.
So the next one we've got coming up is the Steelers Ravens. What do you think about that kind of mess?
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to watch. I don't know. I think the Ravens are playing some good ball right now again, but there's talk that what's his name may play. He's doing practicing, and they may sit Taylor, but I don't know if they're a better team with Lamar.
Yeah, that's been an interesting thing. It seems like the Lamar Ravens. I think that the Ravens would take a call from another team right now about Lamar.
Yeah, and it amazes me how they got away from it. They won last week. They pounded Green Bay because they let Derrick Henry run the ball.
Yeah,
and I think maybe with Lamar there, they don't have a tendency to do that as much because they think with his running ability and his throwing, they don't have to rely on him much. But I mean, that was amazing to watch last week. They just ran him like crazy.
Yeah, and he really he was unstoppable.
Yeah, and they couldn't stop him, So I don't know. I'm leaning, more towards Baltimore this week. I don't know. I don't know if the Aaron Rodgers magic is going to run out, but especially if they can't have, that whole DK Metcalf stuff that had going on. They
That
suspended
was a
him.
mess. Goodness.
There. So if he plays, it's a different ball game. But if he doesn't play, he just doesn't have that go-to receiver. In my opinion. So
Right.
it could be a toss-up right there. So
I got another question for you on the coaching. What are your thoughts on John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin as far as how long they've been with those organizations? And do you think one or both of those guys should go? Or what are your thoughts on like Mike Tomlin in particular?
Yeah, Mike Tomlin, I would just look at it this way. I mean, that guy's not had a losing season in, I think it's like 18 or 19 years. So they're always there. The problem with them is after, Roethlisberger, they haven't been able to, solve the quarterback dilemma, which a lot of teams have issues with. And I think if they would have had a better quarterback the last, maybe 5 to 7 years, maybe 10 years, I don't know how long Roethlisberger's been gone, but it's like, I mean, I'd take that in a heartbeat if I'm a fan.
Same. Yeah, I would take that. I would take the Steelers, seasons. Yeah.
I mean, this is our first playoff since 2018.
Oh, wow.
I mean, and they're always in it, so it's just like if they could solve their quarterback issue, and I think they used Rodgers as a 1-year, bridge. Maybe if he does good again, and he hasn't had a bad year, he's actually had a pretty good year. They may wind up bringing him back, but eventually they're going to have to go out and find a new young one.
Right.
So Harbaugh's a little different. I think he's on a little bit of a hot seat over there.
Yeah.
For the simple reason that they haven't really done it well with Lamar, and their defense has kind of let him down a little bit. I don't know if they're running out of patience with him. So that's a hard one to call too. I could see him bringing him back, but I can also see him, getting rid of him. The Tomlin thing, I just can't imagine them getting rid of him. I mean, he's a player's guy, and as long as they have some, good players over there, they're always going to be in the running. So,
I like that take. I agree with that take. Here's another one. What do you think about the Houston Texans right now? Come on.
Man, I tell you, I'd hate to play them. Their defense is astronomical. It always has been, and their offense is starting to come on now. So that's one team that I don't think I'd really want to face right now with that defense.
No, and like I'm telling you, they have slaughtered some gamblers this season because everybody's thinking, they're not going to win that game. And then the defense just puts it on them, and C.J. Stroud's looking better.
Yeah. He's finally starting to come around and giving the offense, the defensive rest, put some points on the board, and being able to score and help those guys out. This year for football is wide open. I mean, you got New England, the number 1 seed. You got Jacksonville with 12 wins. You got Houston right there. It's kind of wide open. Kansas City's not in the playoffs, and the Eagles sure don't look like they're the team that they were last year. If it wasn't for, Buffalo trying to roll the dice and go for 2 point, I mean, they basically should have lost that game.
Yeah.
Last week. So it's like, it's kind of wide open this year.
And the other thing is I just feel so bad for Josh Allen. Like I do, because the kid, he's one of the best football players I've ever seen. And they just have to rely on him for everything, it seems. And I think their window's shut. I think Detroit's window's shut. So, I mean, that's just kind of the way I feel about it. And I'm just saying, go Bears. Come on.
Go Bears.
Well, what was interesting about that 49er game is we haven't had a game like that where, I mean, they exposed our defense. That's how our defense has been all year. We really don't have a defensive line and linebackers, and quarterbacks that have a lot of time that are good will just really carve us up. And that's what happened. But we were able to keep up with the scoring. They'd score, then we'd score, then they'd score, we'd score. and it come down to we had the ball at the end again, and that's the first time this year that we weren't able to capitalize when we had the ball in our hands at the last minute or seconds to go, where we didn't win it. So it's encouraging to see that we can, play with teams like that, but it's also discouraging to see that, our defense has got to figure out something else. That's
yeah. Well, and the Niners are they're frightening, and because I think they're missing a Bosa. They've had injuries all year, and then they just win. It's crazy.
Correct. Yeah. It's just, Purdy's a quarterback, and, Kittle was out. He's their best receiver. But, man, that just goes to show you that McCaffrey kid, he's the real deal. He could run. He can catch. He even blocks. I mean, I'm telling you, San Francisco is the one that scares me. I'm not a big Seattle lover. I think Sam Darnold always – kind of falls under the high-pressure games, but the Rams have kind of faltered down the end.
Yes.
I tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if you got San Francisco there in the end. If they win Sunday, I guess they have the number 1 seed now, because they'd be tied with, even if the Bears won, and they'd be tied with, Seattle is the best record, but because they beat them, they get the number 1 seed. And they were saying that would be the first time in history if they did finish the number 1 seed and they made it to the Super Bowl, they would never have to go on the road, because the Super Bowl is played in San Francisco this year.
Yeah. Well, I got news for them.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a long road to get to a home game. So I don't have my TV on, but my Red Raiders are playing the Ducks right now.
Actually, it's in the corner, because I've been, obviously it's a football day today. I think they were down 3-0.
Okay.
Last I checked, it's on commercial right now. Oregon had the ball, but it's been kind of one of those games where it's just back and forth for right now. And they're on commercial, and it was 3-0. So
okay.
I don't know what it is right now. So, because you're a tech guy, right?
Oh yeah, I went there for about 4 years, just short of getting my piece of paper. But hey, we call it the almost mater of yours truly.
Correct.
But yeah, the defense. I think that defense is one of the best in the country.
Absolutely, they have, I think they said that, on their defensive line and linebackers, they have a possibility of having 3, possibly 4 guys go in the first round.
Wow,
that's so cool.
The draft next year. So, and I don't know, did you watch the Ohio State game last night?
My gosh, don't get me started on that. Talk about a terrible pick on my. I'm like, Ohio State's gonna shut them out, win by 2 touchdowns, and boy, that was not the right call on my part.
Other than last year with Ohio State, they do that. They always fold, whether it's they can't ever beat Michigan, their big rival, or when they get in there, they always, kind of lose the last game. And my son was texting me last night. He goes, take Miami in the 7.5. It's a given. He goes, since they started this playoff, all the teams that have had the first round byes have never made it out of the next round. Because they've had too much rest. I mean, Ohio State hasn't played in 25 days, they said.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not good.
And so he goes, these guys, they look at all that stats. And last night it played true too. Any one of those teams that had the bye, they've always lost in their first game that they've played, if they have a big layover or layoff, I should say.
I'll be damned. Well, yeah, that makes sense. And I hope my Red Raiders don't fall into that today, but
yeah, college football has to redo that whole thing. They need to increase the playoffs a little bit and get rid of all these stupid bowl games.
Yeah.
Matter this is why you have teams, and then when your season ends, when you have to wait 25-30 days to play, it's just it puts you at a disadvantage. I don't think all that rest is any good. It might be a week, have a bye for just 1 week,
right,
and start it up again. But to wait 20 days and then still have a bye and play, it's like your first preseason game. You're out of that game shape. I'd like to see them increase the playoffs and just start the playoffs a week after the season ends, and then just play it out weekly until New Year's, and then the championship game being played. That's my opinion, and I'd see that. So
I think that's the right idea. Well, Big Frank,
Yeah,
I guess.
3-0. By the way, they just came back on. They're still only down 3-0.
There you
so.
go.
All
That's
right,
good.
perfect. Well, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed over here in Texas. And thanks for joining us as always.
good
And
to
I'm
see your
glad we
face,
got your
Big
face
Frank.
on here
There you
today.
go.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can keep this going from now to the end of time, Big Frank.
And go Bears. Hopefully we'll keep on talking every week, and the Bears are still playing.
That's
Go
right.
Bears.
Sounds good. Go Bears, and we'll see you soon, Big Frank.
Happy New Year, Big Frank.
Soon. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Okay, that was cool.
That was so fun.
I mean, it was worth the wait. A year and a half just to
Yeah,
see Big
hey, we
Frank
got it
and get
figured
him on
out.
there. That was cool.
yeah.
It's good. That's going to be a nice addition to your breakdown.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty huge
Mm-hmm.
because then I can. It's going to be like kind of have like a co-host,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and maybe I'll make it not as much of a segment, but like kind of because we could do that. Gosh, me
could
and
do
him
that
could
the
do
whole
that
time.
all day.
Yeah.
And it gets kind of dicey when football's over. But last year, me and Big Frank, we were on all every week.
Yep. We
Talking
talked
about hockey,
everything else. Golf,
talking about golf,
basketball, baseball.
wrestling.
Yep.
How cool is that?
That was cool. That was good. That was a good little segue into Big Frank. I'm glad I got to see his face
that's
up there
gonna
in
be so
Chicago.
exciting.
What else you got there in your Wall Street Journal?
Oh, you
Benjamin?
know what? This is interesting. I'm just going to crack this open. Oh, I've seen some great shows and movies lately. It's talking about, now, let's see here.
Let me ask you a question while you're digging through there. You got any New Year's resolutions?
You know what's funny is I saw a meme the other day. You remember Forrest Gump?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you remember Lieutenant Dan when they're celebrating New Year's at that bar?
No.
Well, he's just like, he's drunk and he's
Okay.
like just slumped over in his wheelchair and there's confetti all in his hair. Well, the meme says, "This is me because I know nothing changes after midnight tonight." So on the topic, it's funny. Me and my love were talking about this the other day on New Year's resolutions. It's I think it's good for probably most people because it does kind of like get you thinking. You know, like fresh, kind of not fresh start, but you know, as we all know, like gym memberships go through the roof January, February, and then they fall off. But it's like because I'm usually mostly a cynic in my thought process in life, but it's good that people like get out and do that, even if they only do it for a month. It's like here's to progress, and for me. I think my New Year's resolution this year, if I had one, I would have to say that it's to get out in nature a little bit more.
I like that.
And like, because we were talking about this earlier, and I love the outdoors so very much. And admittedly, I've been an avid hunter since I can remember, probably since I'm like 5 or 7 years old, and I still like to do that, but I find as I'm getting older, I don't like it as much. The hunting part, unless I'm harvesting, which should be the thing. But we have all these wild pigs and varmints and things in this part of the world that that make it easier to justify sport hunting, which I think I'm just kind of losing the lust for, which is fine.
Yep.
Either way, I don't begrudge anybody, but I don't know. I kind of want to get back to the roots, like in a native sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like take what you need, but then the rest of the time, just kind of just enjoy your time in the woods.
Yep.
You know. So I think I'm going to try to do more of that
I like that.
if
That's
I
good.
can, and I want to go to I've never been to Big Bend National Park. I've never been to some of the places in our own state that are kind of gems.
Yep. Big Ben keeps getting popped up in my little sphere also. I think that maybe we need to do a Big Ben trip this year.
That would be fun, dude. And camping would be fun to do a little more of.
Yeah. That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one.
How about yourself?
I'm going to get through today, one day at a time. That's what I'm doing all year long.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
I'm pulling that from last year into this year. No, I have not really spent any time sitting down thinking about it too much. I did last year. I wrote down things, and I'd say most of that stuff came to fruition, so that's pretty good. More music, more travel.
Yeah, and goodness, what? This is kind of a little Woody Guthrie. Let's see here. American folk singers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is terrible of me, but the other day I was told, like, Bob Dylan's like gonna do a tour and shows.
He's coming to Abilene.
Yeah, and I'm like, should I be marked safe from that one? Because he sounded like hammered shit for like 25 years.
I heard somebody recently told me that they went to one of his shows within the last couple years, and it was really good because he has a really great band.
Uh-huh.
So it's, he's there, but for the most part, he puts on a good show. Now, I don't know that Sam and I were talking about tickets, like they got VIP tickets like in the hundreds.
$20?
100, no, like the cheapest tickets are about 70.
Okay. And this
For
is
the nosebleeds.
Tell me it's not at the Paramount.
No, it's at the convention center.
Ew.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's rude.
I think I'm marked safe from what I mean. He's been a bucket list guy forever that I've wanted to see.
He is,
but
it's like, but
don't
at
know that I
some
wanna go.
point, I think this is a good little topic that we can touch on these old musicians. Is another one that's been popping up on my. I'm not on social media, but I do have I do YouTube shorts, and that's kind of my social media, I guess. The videos. Robbie Krieger from The Doors. I haven't heard or seen from that dude in 25 plus years.
Yeah, didn't he die in a bus accident or something?
He's alive. Yeah. And he's old as hell, and he's like, come see my show at the blah 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 tomorrow. And I'm just like, okay, good for you. Good on all these old dudes that are still doing it, right?
Yep.
And I read an amazing article on Keith Richards and just the pure, like, everybody hopes they can. Everybody knows they're not going to outlive Keith Richards, but they hope they can live to be half his age.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it's like the guy his body has literally been a playground for 70 years. And he's just like still kicking, burning heaters on
Got it
stage.
going.
But he and his daughter have a great, they do a podcast, Keith Richards and his daughter.
Do you remember the name of it?
And I'll think of it. And it's on iHeartRadio sometimes. But it's very interesting. She's just like, asks him, how did this song come about, and this and that and the other. But yeah, back to Bob Dylan and some of these old gems of music. Willie Nelson would be one of them. I remember my uncle saw George Jones when he was like almost done. And George Jones had another guy basically singing for him, and he would sing the parts that he could. And it's like, I don't know, there's just such, life is so interesting with what people choose to do as their, because I mean, at this point, it's not about money. It wasn't about money for George Jones
right?
or and in some cases it is. And I think it's like all the staff and the band and all the people, the roadies and everybody, that they're like, okay, well, they're kind of, that was the Grateful Dead thing too, is like they had so many people to pay and keep their families fed. And that was kind of the reason for just never stopping in some degree. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's interesting stuff.
Folk music.
Well, let's wrap the show up and talk about just a little bit about what you're looking forward to doing on the Breakdown with Ben for 2026. I can tell you that I'm excited about the Travi Wavi.
Yeah.
And I've got some good guests lined up.
Imagine
And we're
that.
going to have a good time this year. And that's what I know about that.
Yeah, I think I might occasionally steal some of your platform. I've got like a guest or two that I'd like to have on, in an interview format. And
should do it.
so I think I may do that a little bit. But yeah, I think on the Breakdown, I'm hoping that, there's some kind of, something opens up with all this AI stuff, because that tends to be a big part of my show. And the Epstein files, it's been funny to cover that. It's not funny, it's horrific stuff, but it's like, I finally realized that like everybody's involved. Like they're all involved.
That's the whole thing.
And
the
it's
whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, and so that's interesting. And I guess I'll cover that like as it comes, but I'm almost ready to put that one to bed.
Yeah.
Because that's one that can be frustrating, and because nobody's gonna ultimately be held accountable for any of this, and these cabals of horrific things have always existed and will always exist. And I guess you catch them when you can catch them, and then we move on.
All right, let's play a quick little game called Do You Think This Is Going to Happen in 2026?
Oh, I love that.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
I'm just going to give you a couple
This is like
ones.
gambling,
Give you a
folks.
couple
Come on.
ones. Do you think we're going to have another snow apocalypse in Abilene, Texas, sometime in January or February 2026?
No.
Okay. I do. I think we are going to have another.
I think El Nino is the reason why it's like a weird summer.
So
out
it's
here.
like perfect golf weather right now. Okay, next question.
Uh-huh.
Do you think the United States is going to go to war against another country, or get pulled into a bigger,
like a
larger, not
like
just
a
like
proper
the
war.
Ukraine proxy war, but like a larger?
No.
No. Okay. I'm not sure. I think we're already in that war. It just doesn't look like what we've
Well, what's
experienced before.
interesting about that is I think that just as we talk about politicians and data centers and all this, now more than ever, I think that all the world's superpowers are in on this big game that the rest of us think we know, but we don't. And just like this crappy Netflix movie that just came out called...
Well, don't mention if it's terrible.
Yeah, anyways, it doesn't matter. But the thing that people don't realize about actual war in 2026 for war is mutual destruction.
Yeah.
It just can't happen. So it'll be like Vietnam is what it will forever be, in my opinion. Just little Vietnams everywhere. And ultimately it's very sad for the areas that happens in, like Afghanistan and these places. But for the world at large, we're all going to stay above the dirt and be able to eat still, probably.
Good.
And so that's my take for 2026.
All right, last big question.
Will the Cowboys win the Super Bowl
Not
in
a chance in hell. Not a chance ever. I don't know what it's going to take for the Cowboys to...
Anyways, I interrupted you.
Yeah. Oh, last question. What's the stock market going to do?
I think it's going to be another just kind of... I think everything kind of rides.
Yeah.
I do. I think things will
The
go up
engine
and
keeps
down.
running, but we just kind of keep going.
I'm like, kids keep gaming. Oh, something that was really funny to me that I recognize about 2025 is body positivity went out the window when GLP-1s came into the picture. It's like before that we were all supposed to embrace our bodies,
Yeah.
and now it's like
No, just Ozempic.
no, that's not okay. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with biology and biotech.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, brother, before we close her up today?
I just would like to thank our producer extraordinaire, Sam Wolf, a.k.a. Sam and Us.
And Tim Prozier from Infocus
And Tim,
Digital,
man. Tim's
who's
been a wonderful addition and so much
helping out.
fun to have
Yep.
around and a lot of help.
Yep.
And the coffee shop, downtown Abilene,
Majestic.
as it sits, is very majestic. This downtown is really, come full circle or whatever since 13 years ago when we were smoking ciggies and eating cheeseburgers on the side of the street.
over by Abbey House. I'm excited to see the park across the street finish getting developed.
man, that's gonna be
you
so
know,
cool.
And the parades, we'll do some more parades this year, I believe. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the parades. That was a good one.
If you haven't watched that, you can scroll back up.
You can
on the
join the
channel
other
and-
thousands of people that saw our parade situation.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Like, subscribe,
Please subscribe.
comment
Please like.
if it's
comment.
nice and positive. If it's not, then you're going to hurt my feelings.
You can hurt my feelings. It's okay.
I'm just kidding.
I'll be back next Thursday with a wonderful guest, and we're going to kick off the 2026 theater review scene.
Love that.
Yep. And then you'll have Big Frank on again next week.
Oh, yeah. Thanks again, Big Frank,
Thank
for
you, Big
joining
Frank.
us and giving us your football takes. And go Red Raiders. Hopefully we can stay alive today. And,
Majestic Coffee Shop next door is open, allegedly serving Onyx. They're open all day long if you're looking for some coffee today. It's a beautiful day. Get outside, walk your cat.
Walk your cat. Bathe
Yeah.
your dog. It's plenty warm out.
Thank you, live audience.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Have a good one. Signing off from the Travi Wavi.
Happy New
We
Year.
will see you next week.